everybody. We're going to go ahead and get started, get the reception going. I know there's a lot of people that have to go to other things and have other commitments. But I wanted to start with saying, what a great show this has been for the IGCMA. To walk in, and I was telling Pat this earlier today, to walk in and see the IGCMA logo across the show is a huge thing for us, for equipment technicians around the world. We've got technicians here from Australia, from Germany. We've got Cal here from Celtic Manor, and I think it's a great opportunity for us, and we certainly appreciate that. A couple other things I wanted to say just right off. I want to thank everyone for all the support that we've gotten over the last few years. 2005. I guess the best way the board puts it is I've got way too many ideas and not enough time. We've got a lot of things that we've accomplished in a short amount of time, and I guess for me, I'm always trying to do the next thing, and for them, they're just trying to keep up with where we're at. And it takes all of us. Every company, no matter the color, no matter the support level, we appreciate everything we can get, and I want to thank all of you for that. So, also want to thank John Deere. I mean, this room is, I would venture to say, the best one we've ever seen in terms of the reception for IGCMA. So I want to thank Matt and John Deere for the great room and great opportunity with doing our reception. We got quite a few speakers tonight that we're going to have talk to you a little bit about, from our relationship with GCSA, about education for technicians in the future, and give you a little bit of what's going on with the IGCMA, what directions we're going, and then we'll introduce the man of the hour, our Edwin Budding Award winner. So again, thanks everybody for coming. I also want to thank my wife. She's here and attending. Without her support, I definitely wouldn't be standing here. It takes a lot to deal with me, as most people that have dealt with me know. So she does a lot for me to keep things going at home, and without that, I certainly wouldn't be here. So, without further ado, I'll introduce John Patterson. He's a past president and also helped found the IGCMA. And he's going to talk a little bit about where we came from, and then do some introductions. John?
Yeah, I'll say. Good evening, everyone. As Stephen said, thank you very much for all of your support and attending our reception this evening. I want to move right forward with presentations with Mr. Matt Armbrister from the John Deere company, IGCMA Platinum sponsor, and a tremendous supporter.
Thank you very much, John. Thank you for Stephen, too. On behalf of John Deere Golf, we're very pleased to be here tonight. I'm going to keep this very brief for you. I don't know about the rest of you, but I am wiped out. It's been a long week, but it's a worthwhile week. Every GIS seems like it's a great GIS for us, for me personally. But I want to thank the board of IGCEMA and everything else that goes along with that. Testing. There.
What you got?
More batteries ready?
Yeah, on behalf of John Deere, we're just happy to be here, happy to be a part of this. We're happy to support this association. It's great to kind of see Stephen's vision and the people he works with their vision come to life. I can't imagine the amount of hours that he puts into this in addition to his real job. So it's pretty amazing. I can't believe all the things that he and the rest of the group do to get this association to where it is now, so to where it is a part of the golf industry show. It is a recognized entity within the golf industry, and that's a really serious commitment that he's made, and others have made to get to this point. So we are more than happy come out with a little bit of support to help this group out and get where it is. So on behalf of John Deere, thank you very much. Hope you had a good GIS, hope you had a good event, and we look forward to seeing you in the future. Thank you.
Next up to the podium, I'd like to introduce Mr. Pat Finlen, who is certified golf course superintendent from the Olympic Club and board member of the GCSA.
Thanks very much. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. As I said, I'm a member of the GCSA's board of directors. I've been on the board for 5 years. I've been at the Olympic Club for 9 years next week. So about 4 years ago, I tried to hire Stephen, and you didn't give me that warning that you just gave him, that you're very hard to deal with and it takes a lot. So you snuck one in on me there. But on behalf of Red Evans, our CEO of GCSA, and the entire board of directors, we're so happy to have IGCEMA as part of the golf industry show, especially as a participating partner. You mentioned the logo out there. It is neat to see your logo up on the banner as you come in. So we're so proud to have you here. I know it means a lot to you, but it means a lot to us as well. So thank you for that, and for being here. Your reception back in 2004, and I mentioned I tried to hire Stephen, and it was just shortly after that. And so I've gotten to know a lot about your association and who you are and what you do. And I've kind of followed it. If you listen to Pat Williams talk this morning, I don't know how many of you were in there, but motivational speaker. He talked about vision, and he talked about creating a vision, and you guys have certainly done that. And I've been able to watch it, and when I heard about it back in 2004, 2005, that's one thing, but to see it come to fruition, that's part of the vision. It's part of carrying out a vision, which I think is very important. Pat Williams also talked about commitment, and you all who are here today know certainly how committed these guys are, because they volunteer their time to do this. And even if they're getting paid to do it, I'd say they've done an outstanding job. But the fact that they volunteer their time says a lot about them and the passion that they have. And one of the last things that I took away from this morning's talk was teamwork. And you guys work so well together. And as you come into the golf industry show, it's all about teamwork. It's all about our partners who are here with us today throughout the entire week. We're so glad to have you as a partner with us, and that's teamwork, and we look forward to working with you in the future. But they also talked about leadership, and I tried to hire Stephen for his leadership, and had I known how many hours he was going to put into this, I'm probably glad that I didn't hire him. I know he spends a lot of time on it, and I asked him earlier today how much time he spends on it, and he says, I don't know. So that tells me it's a lot, but you guys surely have shown a lot of leadership in carrying out the vision that you've had and in promoting the association. So this is a lot about you and who you are. I went on your website briefly, and I went and looked at some of the items you have on there, the mission, vision, and goals. And you had under the values integrity, professionalism, pursuit of excellence. And integrity is something we all want to have. I think all of us as partners in the GIS talk about integrity. We look to our equipment managers, our technicians, because we rely on them so much to have integrity. Professionalism, you've certainly shown that by the fact that you're an association and you're here today, and the fact that you want to have accreditation. This is a lot about professionalism and the pursuit of excellence. As I watch my equipment manager, I watch my technicians, I have no idea what they're doing anymore. It is so much about pursuit of excellence and being or excelling in what you do, so I applaud you for that very much. I've been a superintendent since 1984 when I first came on board, and you probably hear it many times that the hardest position for a superintendent to hire is not the assistant superintendent, it's the equipment technician or the equipment manager. And I've struggled with it over the years because I would go out and think I was going to find the best wrench out there, and it's really not about the best wrench. It's about all the things that you stand for, and I've learned to look towards attitude, to look towards the professionalism of these individuals, where they want to go with their life, and not just whether they can do the work or not, because at least in my case, we have about $1 million worth of equipment, and while I have the heavy burden taking care of the lot of damage, it's going to hurt my job. So I really looked at that profession and really want to make sure I hire the right individual. All kidding aside, I wish I would have hired Stephen because he embodies all these things that the association is. But I've gone through years, I'm kind of metamorphed from hiring the best wrench to now looking at the person I hired. I hired an equipment manager about 5 years ago, and I really have come to see the value of having an equipment manager at our golf course. They were doing things I never thought I could achieve. I know I can achieve it, and that goes back to the teamwork, and it goes back to hiring the right individuals on your staff, giving them the passion and helping them with the passion, helping them with the vision, providing them with the ability to be leaders, because they are leaders within my golf course. Our equipment manager is a leader. He's recognized as a leader. He runs our safety program for the entire club. So we're starting to put a lot more burdens on the equipment manager, just like they have come our way as golf course superintendents. So with that, I really appreciate being here. I want to again tell you how much it means to the board of directors of GCSA, Red Evans, our entire staff. We have some staff here tonight to have you guys here and have you a part of the golf industry show. So thank you very much.
Well, next up to the podium, I'd like to invite Mr. Stephen Tucker back up to just give us an overview of the year past and perhaps a glimpse of where we're headed.
Well, as most of the guys know, I never like to use notes, but in some cases I forget stuff. But I always felt like if you knew what you were talking about and you didn't, you did it from the heart, that you never needed to write it down. So unfortunately, my memory, because I got so much stuff going on, is less. I got to write some things down now. But with the IGCMA, we really, when we're looking at every year, what we're going to do and what things that we want to accomplish, just like any other company, you've got X amount of dollars and you want to get the most out of your money. It's no different really for our association. We just never looked at it in terms of dollars and cents. We really looked at it in what can we do to get the most amount of members. Because we know that, getting membership is the battle. That's what we need, because we need everybody on the same team. And if we can get everybody on the same team, then, the money, the things for the association that we need will come. And, that's the approach that we took then. And as we've taken that approach, we've grown, and now we realize that, we've got to change some of the thought processes, because with the growth in membership and responsibilities as an association, that now we need to look at things a little more like a business and try to organize ourselves a little bit better. So some of the things really that we've tried to do is, we've been really working on certification, certificate, back and forth for a long time. Last year, we finally, after 3 years of discussion, figured out what it was we were going to do. And what that ended up being is a certificate program. And a lot of superintendents have said, well, why are you going to do a certificate program? You don't have as much value as you do with a certification program. But, we also, just like everyone else, look at statistics, look at what comes in, what's the average age of our membership, how much education do they have. And the majority of our membership, are not college graduates. They're people that are good with their hands. And so one of the things that we have to do is, while a technician may know how to fix something, they may not always know how everything works or why they have to fix a certain thing. They just know that it needs to be fixed or where to look because they're good with their hands. So what we need to do is instruct or at least give them some ways to understand why they do what they do or why they choose a certain part when they order it. And that comes with learning processes and why things work a certain way. So the certificate program is what we've decided to do finally. And that is something that we are going to be working on for 2011. The other thing we did is, just like anyone else, we want to be independent. We don't want to have to depend on other people or pay people that we shouldn't have to pay. And us being an online association, it's a huge importance for us, and it was one of our goals to have our own server, where we don't have to pay a company all the time to manage our server. When it goes down, we have no control of it, and so on and so forth. So one of our goals was to buy our own server and put it at a data center. And so we've done that in 2010 and operate IGCMA's own server in Dallas. The other thing we did is, we had a lot of meetings over the years on how do we educate technicians, how are we going to get more technicians in the field. And you'll hear John Piersol later talk about where we're at with that, where are we at with getting more technicians in the industry and that type of stuff. We talked to GCSA, we talked to John, and try to come up with some ways that we could help technicians. So on the 4th of July, Mike Kriz and myself flew to Boston. We did take in a baseball game. I was told you can't go there unless you go to the field, so we did. And it was a great time, right up to the point we went to the conference, because we got there and everybody just wanted to play their little card games and go by and get their cards stamped at the conference. And one thing is really, our goal in that was to get across to guidance counselors, and that's what this conference was, that, this position exists. That it's a viable position, that people are looking for these individuals, and to send them to colleges. Because the biggest problem that we have is career awareness. Nobody knows we're here. Nobody knows we exist. And most of the people in our industry get here because, they got lucky. They saw an ad that somebody needed a mechanic, and that's where they went and applied, and it happened to be a golf course. And so, by going there, we may have talked to, a lot of people. Most of it, sorry, we don't have staff. But, what we did is we found that there was a very limited amount of people that really cared about the education of anyone, looking for new careers. The guidance counselors were there to, have their fun and go, and not looking at other career paths for our kids. And so we think a lot of this is going to have to start from home. It never, everybody, when I was in high school, I didn't think, okay, I want to go be an equipment technician. I was thinking doctor, lawyer, what am I going to do to make a lot of money? And I think after you get out of high school, you start realizing that it's not that simple. I like golf, so that was why I kind of chose to go that direction. So that was something that we needed to do. We did, we tried. May not have been the best use of our money, but we have to try. And so that was kind of one of the goals that we got accomplished last year. Also, every year we have a goal to do a show. We've done Harrogate in the past. We've done the GIS, I think almost every year since we started. And last year, one of those goals was to do GIS again, and we've done that. And we've seen probably not as many people as we want, because sometimes superintendent takes it back and forgets to give the brochure to his technician and vice versa. But the thing is, we continuously see more technicians signing up. So we see the need to continuously, get our name out there to these superintendents. The other things that we've done is a webcast system. Education is a big part of what we do. We're an online association, so putting webcasts together is a big part of educating technicians. It's the craziest thing, because you see people on there from everywhere. We'll have a webcast. Mike puts on electrical webcasts, and you'll have people from New Zealand and Australia and the UK all on it. We know what time it is, and there, guys up at 4 o'clock in the morning to attend some of these webcasts. But it shows the dedication of our membership. How dedicated they are, how much the need is to be educated, and how much they want to see it, and don't have it as much as they probably should. And that's something that, with our partnership at the Golf Industry Show, we hope to help fix, is more education for the technicians at the show. That's something that we're going to try to do with our association. And the final thing, and the biggest thing, I think, is our partnership with GCSA. The Golf Industry Show, the GCSA, and our own virtual trade show were all, ideas. They were all, well, this would be great if we could do this, because we could reach a lot more people. We knew it was going to take time for it to happen. I can tell you we didn't really expect that it would happen this quickly. You know, it's something that we're very happy about. You know, Kerry called us up on the phone and said, hey, we'd like to have you come out to Lawrence. And Mike and I were like, okay, what is this about? And, you know, the virtual trade show was there, and you're thinking, well, I wonder what this is all going to be about. And, you know, it was a great trip. We went out, we got to spend the full day with Rhett, with Kerry and the staff at GCSA, and learn a little bit more about GCSA itself and how it works. At the same time, be able to explain to them how we operate and how we work. And it's good that, you know, it's not a one-sided conversation and that they look at us as an association. I think that's an important part of us getting the recognition that equipment technicians deserve, and I think it's a great step for us moving forward. So that's basically our 2010. I'm sure there was a lot more we did in between that, but you know, it was a great year last year. We got a lot of stuff accomplished for people that don't get paid and no staff and extra work. We're looking forward to just as much a successful 2011. So, John?
Next up, I'd like to bring up Mr. John Piersol from Florida Gateway College to talk about educating technicians for the future.
Thank you, John and Stephen. Of course, I'm very proud to call Stephen Tucker one of our graduates from our turf equipment technology program. He's done an outstanding job, and certainly most of the people in this room know that we have a turf equipment program because you support our program, and for that, I'm also very thankful. I've been at Lake City Community College, now Florida Gateway College, for 37 years, and it's been a great experience for me. Our golf course operations program is nationally and internationally recognized. Our landscape program is very well known. But they both started in 1967. 1973, we started turf equipment technology. And the first couple of years of rough, 1975, we hired Ed Convest, who's the first Edwin Bundy Award winner, and he turned that program around. We got industry involved in it and built it into one of the best in the country. We're very proud of the program, and we've got some great graduates out there. But our biggest problem, as Stephen alluded to, is getting enough students to meet the industry demand. We're lucky to have 8 or 10 graduates from our turf equipment program every year. I could place usually 30, especially those that are willing to move around. We can't get them in the front door. That's my biggest frustration, my biggest problem. It's an unusual problem for someone to have where you have jobs in this economy and not enough students to take them. And it's nice, you might say, but it's really frustrating because we try all kind of techniques ourselves to recruit students, and they're very difficult to reach. And one of the things that Stephen alluded to is it's just not on their radar screen. They don't think about being an equipment technician at a golf course. They have no idea what you're talking about. And so we've tried all kind of standard recruiting techniques out where they work. And we're trying to get more golf course superintendents and any one of you, people in the industry, to try to get high school kids into good golf course maintenance facilities. Anybody that has a mechanical aptitude that was in a nice shop with $1 million, $1.5 million worth of equipment that they've never seen before, I guarantee you wouldn't have to say a thing. They'd be looking around and saying, man, this is cool. Bam, now we got it. But if I go somewhere, even with a video, or one of our instructors go, it's just not the same because you can't see it, feel it, and they need to see this equipment. They don't know what a range mower is, a fairway unit, all electric hybrid mowers now, it's like they're automobiles. They don't know any of that stuff. And so how do they find that out? And I've beat my head against the wall trying to figure all these things out. We're trying all kind of techniques still. And I think it's just a matter of they're not introduced to the career. Even with our landscape program, I can place 15 good landscape students here, no problem. We're lucky sometimes at 5 or 6 in this economy. Our golf program holding pretty steady, but I could place a few more there. We have no problem even placing in that market, which people are concerned about. But golf mechanics is what we need. Equipment technicians is what we need. Everybody alludes to that. Our number one man is the equipment technician, equipment manager. We can train him. I'm very proud of our program. From the very beginning, it was about 50% mechanics, 50% management. What do you mean management? How to design a shop, program the shop, set up parts room, order parts properly, read all the manuals, set up preventive maintenance programs on the computer, and implement those programs. We have always stressed from day one the management side of things. It's not just a matter of turning a wrench. And that's what the golf industry wants. That especially started to happen, I guess, in the 70s, 80s, when TV golf and people were demanding better and better golf courses, and the equipment manufacturers provided that equipment. It became very expensive and sophisticated. It had to meet the needs of the golfer. So they quickly needed very experienced BMW type mechanics on the golf course to take care of this equipment. We were there, we wanted to do it. We have support from the industry like unbelievable. We would not have the program we have without the equipment support that we get from grinders to equipment to all kind of parts, everything from the industry. So we have everything you could want except students. And so I'm reaching out to all of you. Some of you are in the marketing, you got marketing managers. Maybe you can help us. Try to figure out, what can we do to reach young people? And I've tried to get the high school age kid for the main reason they're looking for a career. They're young, they need to be trained into something. Why let them go off somewhere else, especially at a mechanical aptitude? Why not our industry? Because they don't know about it. Once you get somebody out and they're working and have a family, it's harder for them to go back to school. Now our turf equipment program is only 8.5 months on our campus and 3 months of an internship. So it's pretty short term. But still, someone who's working, even if their schooling was 100% paid for, how are they going to live for that year? And so that's one way sort of trying to target that new young person coming into some industry. Let's get into our industry and train them as a skilled equipment technician. It's a great job. It's a stable job. And so we all know those things, and we just need help trying to get them to know more about what we have to offer in the golf industry. They do not know that. So I'm asking, please, really, with all of you in the room, and you have tentacles to reach out all over the place to help me, give me ideas on things we could do, us personally or as an industry, to get more students into this industry. Now we have one course just about developed online. We're going to start doing that. We did a survey of technicians in the field through IGCEMA, and it came back strongly. These are practicing technicians. Well, it came back strongly for online or management, shop management 1, shop management 2, which we have. So we're working to get those online so that practicing technicians can get that management experience, training, without having to come to campus. That we can do online. Our whole program online will be a little harder because of all the hands-on parts that are involved. And all the industry people who come to our campus and are basically like adjunct faculty on our campus all year long. So that's a start. That's something we are doing to try to reach out to the practicing technician that wants more management training. We're trying to meet that need. But I really would like to get those young people in there to go through our whole program. We do more than just teach them stuff. We train them how to get ready for the industry. Our faculty are great at that. It training them to be on time, attitude, work ethic, be on time, integrity, all the things that they mentioned that IGCEMA stands for. Our students are going to take the certification that IGCEMA developed. And so we have a great program. I couldn't ask for anything. I couldn't ask for better support. But I'm very frustrated by the lack of students coming into the program, and I feel frustrated that we can't get those numbers up. Our program is not, our turf equipment program is not in jeopardy because all our golf course operations students also have to take that. Our AS degree in golf course operations is an unusual 3 years because that first year is the equipment program. We make all of them do that so that they do know what goes on in the shop. And if the equipment manager ever left or whatever, they could keep things running until they hired another one. And then the golf course superintendent and the technician can work together as a team even more because they both understand each other. And so it's kept the turf equipment program alive, but I would love to have a good 30 or more straight turf equipment students every year that we could put out. It's a one-year program. It can roll over into a second year. They can get an AS degree in turf equipment management. That second year has no mechanical classes in it at all. All gen ed classes, a Spanish class, and business classes. And a lot of them will like to do is take some of those classes at other institutions and transfer them back to that while they're working. 99% of our students do that 1 year and they're gone because demand is so high. And so, just leading in today, we have a great program. Toro, Jake, all the manufacturers are on our campus all the time. They travel all around the country, and they have told us numerous times they've never seen a facility like ours. In 1988, we moved into a 15,000 square foot building designated just for turf equipment management. That's all we teach in there. And so we have a facility. We've got great support on campus. We've got great industry support. We just need to figure out a way how to get more young people into this industry, and anything you can do through Stephen, through John, through myself, to give you some ideas on what we might do, maybe talk to your marketing people, please let me know. Thank you very much for all the support you have given IGCEMA and Florida Gateway College. Thanks.
Thank you, John. As most of you probably know, our new association president this year is Mr. Luis Martalis from Melbourne, Australia. He couldn't be here tonight. Poor guy flew for 23 hours to make this show and is laid up in bed right now. And that's the way he's spending his show this year. So in order to talk to us about our future plans for the coming year, I'd like to welcome up our immediate past president, Mr. Mike Kriz.
Again, thanks everybody for being here and the absolute excellent support that we get from all our manufacturing and allied association folks. We really appreciate everything that you do for us. We couldn't be here without you, and we just can't thank you enough. So one more time, I was penciled in to cover this the future of what we're going to do in the association. As John said, Luke fell ill, so I'll do my best. Just want to talk briefly about some of our plans for 2011 and moving into 2012. One thing that Stephen talked about was the conference that we attended in Boston with the school counselors. After that experience, we felt that there's a better way to do it, so we're going to, one, encourage, but number two, challenge all of our members to visit their high schools, the local high schools in their communities. I think that if we get some of that one-on-one comments and have our guys go in and do a presentation at the school, at their audience, that's going to do it a little bit more personal and encourage those folks and at least points a lot of them towards Florida Gateway College, but point them to our golf course, because that's one thing that we found out talking to counselors. They had no clue that there was a profession like this out there. So it's our challenge and it's our job to get that done. So that's one thing we're going to do. We kicked the can down the road on certification for a number of years. Last October, we finally decided that we've got to wash our mouth with soap and not say certification anymore, because we are going to do this certificate program. It's something that our members need, and it's going to be providing the education that they need, because we may know how to turn a wrench and we may be strong in some fields, but we may be weak in others, and so we need a well-rounded technician and equipment manager, and so the certificate program is going to go, and it's going to move great strides this year. We're going to attend more trade shows. In fact, right now, Cal B has volunteered to go to Iceland the end of this month to attend the Vega conference. We're doing our planning right now for next year we are going to attend the Heritage Show, BTME, and as well as Las Vegas. We weren't planning on doing Las Vegas, but GCSA bringing us into the fold has encouraged us that we need to participate in every one of those shows now. So we're planning on both Heritage and Vegas, easy for me to say, Heritage and Las Vegas for next year. Additionally, Luke wants to move into the Asian market, and so he's planning on some reaching out into some trade shows in Japan, and we're also considering one in Singapore. Where's all that money coming from? It's coming out of our checkbook someplace, and it's all the support that we're giving to the folks. Innovations for the website. Our website is who we are, and we spend an awful lot of time on that website. Our members spend an awful lot of time on that website, so we see value in changing it up every once in a while, making it a fresh look, changing things around. So that's going on as long as in addition to developing our virtual trade show again for 2011. So that's two websites that's got to be kept up, and that's another one of Stephen's jobs. Somehow it ends up being one of mine also, but we're working on that. We need to continue our relationships with the associations out there, the trade associations, and so we're working on furthering our association with the GCSA and the international associations around the globe. I often refer back to that conference call that we had back in 2006 that started this whole association. We kicked the can around the road for a number of years trying to get an association started. That conference call in 2006 was the one that got us started. And there was a lot of us that were naysayers at the outset that didn't think that it was going to happen again, but we wanted to give it a good try. I've said over and over again, over my dead body, is it going to fail this time? So that was my involvement with it. Well, one of those visions that we've always had was office and staff. We always said it, kind of jokingly at first, because again, we do have day jobs, and we're all doing this as volunteers and occupying a lot of hours of our evenings and weekends. But I think we're getting a lot closer to office and staff, and so that's on our plate, and it's something that we need to work on. One of the last things is that we're going to do a lot better job at is our media campaigns and newsletter and reaching out and contacting our members, our folks in the industry, letting you know what we're doing a little bit more on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. We need to keep that contact out there, and that's what we're doing. So in closing, that's the future. Our future is bright. It's busy, and we appreciate everything that you do for us to make our associations successful. Thank you very much.
Well, now we've heard from a lot of different perspectives with common themes. We certainly do appreciate all the support in the room from everyone in this room and many, many more throughout the industry. We certainly, looking around this room, it just always strikes me as how far we've come so quickly. And we certainly could not all be here together today without everybody's support. So thank you all very much. We've come to that time to begin our Edwin Budding Award presentation ceremonies. Here to kick things off, once again, Mr. Stephen Tucker.
Well, they say I talk a lot, but it won't be too many more times. When we were looking at creating an award for technicians, there's some great awards already out there. TurfNet has an award, GCSA now has an award, and we wanted to do something a little bit different. a lot of times, yes, we don't get pats on the back like we should, and things like that. You know, this type of a job is not something you get into for praise. Being an equipment technician is not something that, you know, you're always going to have someone saying, wow, you did a great job. You know, it never happens. The only time you hear from anyone is when you're not doing a good job. You know, so if you don't hear anything, that's great. But what we wanted to do was we wanted to go beyond that and recognize individuals that have made a contribution to our industry. Not just go to work every day and do your job, but, you know, go to work every day, do your job, and then go do something else. You know, we've had a lot of great winners that, and every one of those have something in common. It's that they went above and beyond for our profession, not for another profession. They weren't professional golfers. They did this for technicians. And so we wanted to look for someone in our industry. You know, Old Tom Morris was a great example for the golf course superintendents. But we needed somebody for technicians. So what we did was we really, you know, we made phone calls. You know, I talked to Gina Bernhardt, I talked to, you know, Toro, I talked to Jake, I talked to John Deere. I said, you know, give me some names, tell me something that somebody's done somewhere. You know, Gina helped us with coming up with, you know, this idea of, you know, the Edwin Budding Award. And Edwin Budding is the, you know, the reason a lot of us have jobs. He invented the reel. You know, and no matter how old that technology is, it's still used. You know, I've talked to a lot of you guys and engineers saying, when are we going to come up with something else? I mean, we've been using this for how long? We can't do it a different way. And, you know, we always come back to the cutting edge. We've done everything to it. We've added more blades, we've changed things, we've tried to put, you know, different spins on it, beat reels and every other thing. But yet it always comes back to the reel. And so, you know, that's something that we thought was a reason to name an award after someone. You know, part of the process of creating the association and the award is that we go through a lot of lengths to make sure that what we're doing, first off, is right. You know, we went out and, you know, when we created IGCMA and we got a lawyer and an accountant and, you know, we didn't want to pay those bills, but we had to do it. It sounded like the right thing to do, and they gave us some great advice. So we tried to contact the family of Edwin Budding, and boy, was that a search. You know, we were looking and going through museums, or calling museums and emailing back and forth, and, you know, they got family all over the place, so we really didn't have a way to contact the family and get some official approval to do it. So we said, you know what, you know, he's not going to not like that we've named an award after him, so just do it, you know. So that's what we did. And, you know, basically, what we did was we decided, okay, let's name the award after Edwin Budding and call it the Edwin Budding Award. And then, you know, we said, okay, you know, who created, you know, who made the first Edwin Budding, you know, reel? Where did this originate? You know, how far back can we go? And so, you know, because we need a sponsor. You know, we don't have any money. We didn't just got ideas, you know. So, you know, we made some phone calls and had some great contacts in the industry, and we talked with Jason King and Alan and Dave Withers, and you know, they decided that, you know, it's fitting. You know, this was built at a Ransom factory in Ipswich, and what better sponsor to have than them for this award. So I'd like to ask John to come back up and introduce our next speakers. But that's where the award started. And, you know, what a great award it has been. We've had some great winners, and we're looking forward to some more. So, thank you.
He's getting tired. He could have done this. Gee, just one more thing, Stephen. Come on. Actually, to talk about the history of our winner, Mr. Dan Wilkinson from the Jacobsen. Oh, all right. Go sit down.
Thank you, everybody, and it's a real honor for me to be up here to have a chance to talk about our winner tonight, because he's somebody that worked for Jacobsen for very, very many years, and somebody that I really enjoyed working with, and consider a good personal friend. You know, as I think about this award, and it's going to a gentleman who really spent his entire career making other people look good. And that's really, if you think about what a tech does, they make other people look good and rarely get the credit. Usually get the blame if something's not right. So the gentleman I'm talking about is Mr. Volley Carr. Volley started his career back in 1966 as a sales guy on the road selling on equipment. Volley held a number of other sales jobs, and then I think saw the light and went to turning wrenches and doing what he really loved. And as all of you know, if you do something you love, time passes quickly. It's not work. It's just what you are and who you are. And that's Mr. Volley Carr. He joined Ransom's in 1984 here in America, and then became part of Jacobsen in 1998 when Ransom's and Jacobsen came together. And Volley contributed so much to our company and to our industry. And what I'd like to share with you, because I think the highest tribute any of us can hope to get is comments from our customers. So here's a letter. We are writing to support Jacobsen's nomination of Volley Carr for the International Golf Course Equipment Managers Association Edwin Buddy Award. Volley worked very closely with our grounds and mechanical supervisor and staff, and I want to share some of our mutual thoughts about Volley's service and dedication. Volley Carr, what can I say? The man is a legend in the golf world, the ultimate go-to guy. For one reason, he would get it done. We have had the honor of knowing and working with Volley for some 23 years. Whether it was in preparation for the Masters tournament or some issue that needed to be resolved, he was always the man to call because he could make it happen whatever the issue. If we needed parts, we got parts. If the parts were not available, he would find a new machine. It did not matter what it was, he got it done. When the tournament came around, he was here ready to go. And when I say he was here 2 weeks prior to the start of the tournament, helping us get everything ready. If there was a problem, it never mattered what color the equipment was, he was ready to help out. His involvement did not start and stop with repairing equipment. If I needed someone to run a mower, Volley was there. Our maintenance supervisor remembers standing in 2 feet of water, pumping out a bunker around the 9th grade. Who was standing right there with him? Volley. I know of no more qualified candidate to earn this great award than Volley Carr. Sincerely, Marsh Benson, Senior Director of Golf Course and Grounds, Augusta National Golf Club. So with that, I'd like to invite David Withers, Managing Director of Ransom Jacobsen, up here, and Volley, if you would come up.
It's really great just as an Ipswich guy, a Ransom's guy now, and Jacobsen. But it's great when we look back, whenever we think about the Edwin Budding thing, it always surprises me. 1832, Edwin Budding built the world's first lawnmower in Ipswich, and we're still there today building lawnmowers here in Ipswich. So that's really exciting, and we're always proud of that longevity. And certainly when you look at what that means to us, as Steve said, it was a simple design, but it's still there today, and it's given us all jobs, hasn't it? And then as you look on the TV and you watch those fantastic golf courses that are being played out there, and the tournaments that are being run, and a lot of that is on the back of what came out of there. And then that leads you to think about those tournaments and how they were supported, and all the backup that was given, and that in turn makes you think about Holland and the tremendous support that he's given the industry, and particularly tournaments over the last many, many years. And so it's a huge pleasure for me to be given the opportunity to hand over the award to Volley, who I could think of nobody more appropriate to give it to. Congratulations to you, Volley. Thank you very much. I think that's really worthwhile. And I don't know whether I'm really going to try and pick this thing up, but it is engraved with Volley's name. And I do know from last year that this is in 2 pieces. It almost caused damage last year. So Volley, congratulations indeed. Well done. Well done.
work a little closer with the superintendent and the technician, they would do a hell of a better job. But when I started in this, they designed something that our mowers wouldn't do. So they did get better at it, but they're falling away from that right today. And I've enjoyed every minute of working with people. Next week I'll be working another tournament, which will be the Northern Trust in California, in LA. So with that, that's about, all I can say, and be more than happy to talk to anybody about what's going on. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our running award presentation. The main trophy will travel back to the Finlen CGCS headquarters and be on display in their lobby. And Bolly will take his trophy home. Please feel free to hang out. I believe we have a little bit more food left. We'll certainly have a few more drinks left. But please enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you all once again for all of your support. Thank you very much.